part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly, in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intent, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Fields of motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Fields of motivation, the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Fields of motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind. Of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Fields of motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, No one is left behind. Be part of the SDO Pasig City's virtual caravan of notable best practices. Have a glimpse of how each school empowers the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. Feel the motivation, radiates the aspiration, applauds the legacy of the best intention, as it is exemplified in every innovation. Truly in Pasig City, no one is left behind.
Over the past year, we have been bombarded with challenges and insurmountable trials brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Through it all, we remain steadfast and resilient in conquering their drastic effect in the field of education. We are truly grateful to our school leaders for their initiative to redesign, modify, and restructure course resources and essential competencies. We also acknowledge the efforts exerted by all the teachers in supporting our students and providing instructional experiences suited for the new normal. Let our program today serve as a reminder of why we are doing the best we can. That is, to continue our mission of providing quality education in the pursuit of the aspirations and the bright future of our dear learners. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome today for morning session of Caravan for School's Notable Best Practices Academic Year 2020-2021, an aid of empowering the stakeholders amidst the pandemic. I am Emanuela Cuevas from Rosario Elementary School, your Master of Ceremony for today's event. We are truly grateful for all who are present here today, and of course, those who are with us via live streaming in the Schools Division Office of Pasig Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to share the link with your colleagues and the stakeholders to give support for all the hardships of each school to make this momentous event possible. To formally begin our program, may I request everybody to stand as we sing together a nationalistic song to be followed by the invocation.
Ako'y anak ng lupang hinirang, kung saan matatagpuan ang timyas ng perlas ng silangan, nagniningning sa buong kapuluan. Taglay ko ang hiwaga ng silangan, at saan mang bayan o lungsod, maging timog, hilaga at kanluran, ang Pilipino ay namumukod. Sama-sama natin
Recording in progress.
abutin, pinagkamatayog na bituin, at ang aking tagumpay, tagumpay ng aking lahi, tagumpay ng aking lipi, ang tanging minimithi at hinahangat. Hangad ko'y tagumpay natin lahat. Ako ay may isang munting pangarap sa ating dakilang lupain, at sa sama nating pagsisikap, sama-sama ring mararating ang iba't ibang galaw, iisang patutunguhan. Dito, isang araw, isang kapuluan. Sama-sama nating abutin, pinagkamatayog na bituin, at ang aking tagumpay, tagumpay ng aking lahi, tagumpay ng aking lipi, ang tanging minimithi at hinahangat. Hangad ko'y tagumpay natin lahat. Hangad ko'y tagumpay natin give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son.
Let us bow our heads and place ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Lord, we stand before you in humble prayer before we start with this program, Virtual Caravan of Notable Schools Best Practices for Calendar Year 20. May your good be present amongst us today. Bestow your grace and divine wisdom so we could cooperate and enjoy camaraderie for the greater glory of your name. We for unity, build in us all a deep respect for one another so that SDO Pasig may be one. We pray for hope. Come stir your hope within our hearts and renew our faith to survive this trying time of pandemic as we continue to receive your grace of safety, good health, and positive minds. We pray for vision. May your vision fill our lives as we seek to reveal your love. Open our minds for us to receive the vital information that the leaders, speakers, and facilitators give as they impart their knowledge. Our hearts, so that we may receive your everlasting love and be able to succeed with the plans we have for this activity. Our spirit, so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all these through your mighty name. Amen.
Please be seated. I would like to acknowledge our Officer in Charge, School Division Superintendent of Pasig City, Ms. Maria Evalo Concepcion A. Agustin, our Assistant School Division Superintendent, Ms. Carolina T. Rivera, Cese, our Chief of Schools Governance and Operations, Dr. Victor M. Javenia, our Chief Curriculum and Implementation, Dr. Manuel A. Laguerta, and to all our division units heads, public school district supervisors, education program supervisors, school heads, teachers, and of course, our distinguished guests. Thank you so much for all your support. To maintain the smooth flow of our session today, please take note of the following reminders. Each school head shall only be given 2 minutes for the introduction. I, the Master of Ceremony, will remind you of once you have reached the time limit. The video about notable best practices of each school is expected to have a maximum time limit of 8 minutes. The organizer will stop the video once it has reached the maximum time allotment. More than one entry will be played continuously. The school head will no longer be given an opportunity to talk after the video. The program observers will give their general impressions once all the presentations have finished. All participants are encouraged to stay until the end of the program. At this juncture, we shall now witness as our school leaders present their notable best practices that highlight their school's most effective strategies in adapting to new ways of teaching and learning. Without further ado, let us begin the presentations from Cluster 7 under Dr. Cesar Saclat Gonzalez. Ugong Pasig National High School, Francisco Legazpi Memorial School, Rosario Elementary School, Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, and Eusebio High School. Let me now call our first presenter for today. Our first presenter is the ever-vibrant and dedicated principal of Ugong Pasig National High School. My dear colleagues, let us all welcome Mrs. Lisa C. Caigoy.
Ugong Pasig National High School's Notable Schools Best Practice. Gulayan sa paaralan. Spices, stakeholders partnership, involvement, collaboration, and engagement to the school in Gulayan sa paaralan. Project Contact, Mr. Redentor R. Romero, Gulayan sa paaralan Coordinator, and Mrs. Gemma T. Buenafe, SBM Coordinator. Amidst uncertainty brought about by pandemic, education must continue. Despite the suspension of other school activities due to COVID-19 pandemic, Ugong Pasig National High School chose to have the Gulayan sa Paaralan in response to DepEd Memo 223 Series of 2016. This Gulayan sa Paaralan shows that UPNHS does not only focus on improving the academic performance of students, but also on heightening parents and students' awareness on the importance of having Gulayan sa Paaralan, especially during this time. Primarily, the Gulayan sa Paaralan aim to address malnutrition and to promote vegetable production and vegetable consumption among students and to ensure continuous supply of vegetables for the school-based feeding program. However, with the onset of COVID-19 pandemic and suspension of the feeding program, the Gulayan sa Paaralan and UPNHS aimed not just to produce vegetables but also to improve the school garden, to strengthen stakeholders' partnership, and to ease the mental and emotional stress brought by this pandemic. UPNHS aimed to respond to DepEd Memo 223 Series of 2016, which is to promote food security in schools and communities through self-help food production activities. Specifically, to improve the Gulayan sa Paaralan with the help and support from stakeholders. Improved Gulayan sa Paaralan and strengthened stakeholders' partnership, involvement, collaboration, and engagement to the school. The school benefited much from this project because significant improvements have been observed in the school garden. The profit from the selling of vegetables is also used in buying seeds and other materials and sustaining the GP. Teachers, non-teaching personnel, and parents benefited by gaining not just the produce from the vegetable garden, but also a healthy working relationship within the school community. All in all, the collaborative efforts of all stakeholders are highly evident, and UPNHS believes that what the school gained much is the partnership, involvement, collaboration, and engagement of stakeholders to the school, which is greater than the profit gained from the Gulayan sa Paaralan. All of this proves that projects like this can be the school's instruments to strengthen, reinforce, or maintain active and effective engagement with stakeholders. Most of the ornamental plants, herbal plants, vegetable cuttings, and vegetable seeds together with the soil, were donated by parents, teachers, and other stakeholders. However, there were stakeholders also who donated a certain amount, which was used to buy items listed in the table below. The Gulayan sa Paaralan was monitored twice a week by volunteer parents, while the Gulayan sa Paaralan coordinator, together with other teachers and non-teaching personnel, worked on the garden most of the time to continuously check the plants. There were lots of vegetables produced. What the school gained much from this Gulayan sa Paaralan was a partnership, involvement, collaboration, and engagement of stakeholders which are needed by the school in its projects. Production of modules. Regional community visits in preparation for class opening. Simulation classes. United Nations Month. Project Tulong. Christmas activities. Drop everything and read. Mathematics fair. Home visitation. Gawad Parangal. With some of the activities mentioned, our school was able to cross school year 2020 to 2021 successfully. In addition, UPNHS is committed to develop students who are upright, gracious, observant, nurturing, and genuine members of the community. In this way, we can uphold the school's mantra, unsurpassed performance, nationalism, humanity, and service. Thank you.
You have displayed how you cope with the trials to address the holistic needs of your learners and the whole community through collaboration. The support you have provided truly relieve to pursue the vision and mission of your school. A big round of virtual applause for Ugong Pasig National High School. Our next presenter is the inspiring and passionate principal of Francisco Legazpi Memorial School. Let us all welcome Ms. Melvina S. Tercena.
COVID-19, a pace changer. The hastiness of the situation trembles the world. As a retort with worldwide, Legazpi Memorial School come up with actions to deal with the situation. Quality education is the main purpose of school. In fact, every school strives hard to be the best even in the challenging years brought by pandemic. These actions turned into best practices of the school with its tagline, Functional Learners, Meaningful Services. Good day! The following are the best practices of Francisco Legazpi Memorial School. The world turned upside down as the COVID-19 pandemic brought worldwide revolution as the virus mutated way faster than the usual. Our school focused on the welfare of our personnel, which led to creation of Project CCTV or COVID-19 checklist for teaching and non-teaching personnel via online. This virus should not be a hindrance in providing quality education and at the same time without jeopardizing the health of our school personnel. The admin created an online form to be filled out by school personnel which contains series of questions that pertains to symptoms of coronavirus disease. Health status checklist via Google Forms is sent every Monday and responses are collected every week to track and check the health status of FLMS personnel reporting at school as well as those who work from home. This is to determine who is fit to execute their jobs and who needs medical assistance or self-quarantine. The results are monitored and assessed by the school clinician if an action is necessary. This project aims to provide support physically, mentally, and emotionally to all personnel, including their families who are enduring health problems. Hence, FLMS adage, trust, respect, and care. Reading and comprehension is the heart of learning, one of the basic knowledge a pupil should have. Struggle in it will affect the rest of its learning process. Pasabasa.com or Pag-asa sa pagbabasa with community involvement. This project evolves from drop, everything, and read. At first, FLMS teachers initiated the production of reading materials for their pupils until it reached the whole community. Coincidentally, having the same advocacy with the school, Caravan, Atayde Foundation, and the Moscola International School collaborated with the project Pasabasa.com with their own projects such as Recoveries and the introduction of Epic.com. The project started with an orientation with the stakeholders, followed by distribution of reading materials such as booklets and learning kits. The learning materials aim to enhance the comprehension of the struggling pupils. This remediation also improves the motor skills and creativity of the learners. Epic.com gives students access to a free home library. It is a website that provides digital materials. This webpage contains colorful graphics that catches the attention of the early age learners. To ensure learning, a one-on-one virtual reading class is being held by the teacher to assess the progress of learners in their reading and comprehension. The Gulayan sa Paaralan, which becomes an asset in sustaining programs and projects in school, is one of the Francisco Legazpi Memorial School best practices. Francisco Legazpi Memorial School, in collaboration with teachers, non-teaching staff together with parents, barangay community stakeholders, and some organizations, help build the Gulayan sa Paaralan with enthusiasm to promote food security in schools and communities. Various vegetables were planted by the pupils in empty bottles, brought by their parents in the school garden, and some are placed in their houses too. The newly elected PTA officers supported this work by putting up hydroponics garden. With the collective efforts, we were able to utilize the rooftop as part of Gulayan sa Paaralan and some areas of the school. We also received plans from DENR and additional workforce from Pasig Centro. After a few months, we are able to yield what we have planted. The harvested vegetables from Gulayan sa Paaralan were distributed to some families to alleviate hunger, and some proceeds were used for the maintenance of the said project. With the success of Gulayan sa Paaralan, stakeholders and teachers were encouraged to construct their own gulayan on their houses. We are truly grateful to our brave and resilient teachers, parents, and stakeholders who unselfishly helped to realize our projects and activities during pandemic, where the health and safety of every individual are at risk. It is imperative that we not only recover from the pandemic, but that we use this experience to become better prepared for future crises. We grow more when we face challenges.
Your efforts to bring quality education and a safe learning environment are visible with the best practices you have presented to us. Your innovations to support the desires of your learners are notable. Let's give a round of virtual applause for Francisco Legazpi Memorial School. The next presenter is the hardworking and competent principal of Rosario Elementary School. Let's now listen to the presentation of Ms. Edita Ayana Tolo.
Some years ago, Rosario was popularly known as Rosadio, meaning a simple place to live in where bayanihan spirit and closeness of people were evident. The first barrio school was established in 1925 and was temporarily housed in Vicente Concepcion compound. 2 years later, Councilor Epifanio San Juan generously offered 500 square meters for the school site. The municipal government constructed a 2-classroom building and named it Rosario Barrio School under the leadership of Mr. Tuazon and Mr. Andres, who were the first batch of teachers. 4 primary classes were organized in 1954. Due to the annual increase in enrollment, intermediate classes were organized in 1956. By that time, the school became a complete elementary school. The first grade 6 graduation was held in 1962 under the administration of Mrs. Virginia Lozada, who managed the school for almost 26 years with 58 teachers and 2,000 learners. At present, Rosario Elementary School is now catering for 108 classes with 3,935 learners handled by 108 strong and competent teaching force, with the support of our 20 industrious non-teaching staff. Rosario Elementary School adheres to the mantra, "It takes a village to raise a child." This is clearly evident in this time where all our stakeholders join us in promoting education amidst pandemic. Our best practices are the byproducts of all our stakeholders' collaborations and support. It showcases the continuous improvement program and its intensification from one year to another. Come and join me. Watch the Rosario Elementary School best practices. Para sa bata, para sa bayan.
Hali kayo at tuklasin natin ang natatanging katangian ng Rosario Elementary School. Ay dinala rito sa Rosario, Pasig City ang Sopastoria Project sa pangunguna po ng dati naming punong guro, Josephine Makawili, na ngayon naman po ay pinaunlad ng aming punong guro sa kasalukuyan, Ma'am Edita A. Tolo, kasama ang buong puwersa ng Rosario Elementary School na naghahatid muli ng Sopastoria Project. Sulitin ang oras sa pakikinig at pagbabasa ng istorya via online. Napakaming kwento na ang naibahagi natin sa Sopastoria. Halos 30 lugar na ang ating napuntahan at 10,000 bata na ang napakain natin ng sopas. Sopastoria Project po ay naglalayon na mapakain ng mga bata ng sopas at the same time ay makwentuhan sila Ang mga guro po ng Rosario Elementary School ay lumalabas sa community ng Barangay Rosario upang makita ang sitwasyon ng bawat mag-aaral ng Rosario Elementary School. Hindi lamang kami guro sa loob ng silid-aralan. Kami ay guro na nakikita ang bawat sitwasyon ng mga bata sa aming sinasakupan. Isa sa mga pinaka-pinagtutuunan ng pansin ng Rosario Elementary School ay ang reading program. Buo ang suporta natin sa adhikain ng Department of Education, kaagapay ang SDO Pasig na ang bawat bata ay bumabasa. Sa ating Continuous Improvement Plan noong 2017, nandyan ang May Forever sa reading. Mga programs natin like Dear, Drop Everything and Read, Reading Booster, Read and Grow, at bilang School Reading Coordinator, nakita din natin, naiugnay din natin ang Sopastoria Project. Nakaakibat ang Sopastoria Project sa ating reading program. At mas lalo nating pinalakas at pinaigting ang ating reading program. Kaya naman nailunsad natin sa panahon ng pandemya ang Sopastoria Project. Sulitin ang oras sa pakikinig at pagbabasa ng istorya via online. Pinagsama-sama na natin. Nandito na lahat. Reading programs, community, stakeholders, parents para sa Batang Rosario. Walang maiiwan. Lahat makakabasa. Kaya nga masasabi natin, bawat bata sa Rosario Elementary School ay bumabasa at patuloy na umuunlad sa pagbasa.
Narito ang iba pang best practices ng paaralan sa nakalipas na 3 taon. Gulayan sa paaralan. Ito ay naglalayong mapataas ang kamalayan ng mga bata at magulang sa kahalagahan ng pagtatanim at pagkain ng gulay. Ang ating paaralan din ay sumubok ng iba pang pamamaraan tulad ng cultured mushrooms at lettuce. Meron din tayo yung mga alagang manok at patuloy na inaalagaan. Ugnayan sa paaralan. Ito ay naglalayong abutin ang mga mag-aaral at magulang upang mapabilis ang pagtugon ng kanilang pangangailangan, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Araw-araw sa ganap na ika-4 ng hapon ay nagsasagawa ang mga guro ng Empathy Circle sa kanilang mga magulang upang malaman ang estado ng mga mag-aaral at kung anong uri ng tulong ang maibabahagi sa kanila. Project Mentor. Ito ay nagpaunlad at mapalawakan ng mga dalub-guro ng plan upang magdigbak at magbaha ng karunungan sa iba pang mga guro. Sa pamamagitan nito ay napapabuti ang mga ideya na maaaring gamitin ng mga guro sa kanilang turo. Bigyan ng lahat ng pagkakataon na maibahagi ang kanilang makabagong kaalaman patungkol sa isang paksa.
mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. Nararapat lamang na ibalik natin ang pasasalamat sa ating Panginoong Diyos sa lahat ng mga biyayang ating natatanggap sa bawat araw. Ang inyong lingkod, punong guro ng paaralang elementaryo ng Rosario ay taus-pusong nagpapasalamat din sa lahat ng ating mga itinuturing na katuwang ng ating paaralan. Mula sa ating mga kaguruan, mga katuwang ng paaralan, kami sa paaralang elementaryo ng Rosario ay nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng ating mga stakeholders na umaagapay sa lahat ng mga programa at gawain ng paaralan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Patuloy tayong makiisa sa layunin ng ating kagawaran ng edukasyon. Sulong edukalidad, para sa bata, para sa bayan.
We are the best, rhythm and laughter. That's why we love Canada. Oh, so clear we can sing to the color of the sun and nature's big moon.
It really takes a village to educate a child. As Frank Serafini once said, there's no such thing as a child who hates to read. There are only children who have not found the right book. Sopa's story is not just about developing the learner's love for reading, but it is an excellent way to connect with the community. You truly exhibited to be the catalyst of change in these trying times together with all your best practices. A huge round of virtual applause for Rosario Elementary School. Next on our list is the principal of Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, the amicable and brilliant Mrs. Maria Victoria M. Cuervo.
Good day to all. The coronavirus pandemic has caused a major disturbance in students' learning process, but it never stops us. At the Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, we plan, we strategize, and we lead, braving the whole new world of educational setup. Armed ending support from the Department of Education, the local government, from our SDO leaders, teachers, non-teaching and teaching-related personnel, parents, and stakeholders. God's grace will never survive. The situation now may be foul weather, and I can't predict that is an excessive pressure. Continue education during this time of pandemic, with lots of negativity dispersed all over us. This too shall pass. And as Francis Con said, some think it is naive to be positive in a world full of negativity. Actually, it is leadership. Thus, with enthusiasm and positivity, inclusive with our of responsible citizenry, and our battle cry of aangat ang buhay sa Tekbok High, we have equipped teachers and learners with the skills required to access opportunities and enhance their life chances. And so I feel privileged to lead such an exciting and vibrant school with our non-teaching and teaching-related personnel, parents, and stakeholders who are indeed generous to share their time and effort despite the prevailing situation. We were able to conquer the previous school year with flying colors as manifested in our school-based level of practice. And of course, such a triumph would not be fulfilled without our hard-working teachers who create and surpass endless. Through their non-banking concept of education, they are able to give birth to numerous innovations that serve as a bridge to safely reach out to our learners. Some of these innovations are then become our notable practices. With pride and honor, may I present to you the Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries notable practices.
Welcome to Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, a school that exemplifies the mantra, aangat ang buhay sa Techvoc High. In response to the challenges posed by the distance learning, REPSI has been exploring various alternative solutions to provide continuous learning to its high school students. With a systematic planning, the school was able to provide an online platform to execute enrollment efficiently and conveniently. 90% of the school's total enrollees were filed and processed via online. Using the e-enrollment platform, the health and safety of our parents and students were prioritized. Alongside the e-enrollment system, incoming grade 8 students accomplished the school's TVE Specialization Information Survey, or TVEC system. It is an online assessment form that evaluates which TVE specialization the student is much more aligned. It is through giving questions that are like the common behavioral and interest test, but carefully crafted by the TVE teachers. 90% of grade 8 students took the same specialization based on the result of their survey. With the risk of possible COVID infection posed by the physical interaction, schools' learning resource management system develop and provide different mediums to assure that all students will be able to acquire their self-learning materials. Aside from the printed modules and scheduled uploading of SLMs to the tablet, the school also launched the Learning Resource Portal and School Downloading Station. LR Portal is a website where students can download all the self-learning modules, video lessons, and worksheets. While for those who have internet connection, parents can come to school, access our provided link to connect on the internet, and download the SLMs at their student time. During the television, online video sharing, and social media platforms became the classroom and event place of our teachers and learners. In line with this, REPSI urged to maximize these platforms to teach and reach out our students, and soon built our own learning resource studio, where video lessons and events were produced. This includes our graduation, completion ceremony, awarding of the most outstanding teaching and non-teaching personnel, and state of the school address. It is undeniable that during this pandemic, teachers' creativity and strategic planning were challenged. It is our pride that in our school, teachers were able to share and exchange strategies and best practices to better serve the students. This usually held during their S-Block sessions. One of the most highlighted strategies called the peer mentoring. The pandemic might restrict the students to see each other, but it won't stop the students to socialize and collaborate with other students. In this strategy, students' strengths and weaknesses were measured and soon paired with each other. Each pair will have a mentee and mentor. It embraced the principle of body-body system, which develops not only the cognitive side of the students, but also their interpersonal skills, leadership, and sense of being responsible. Carrots will always be better than the sticks. In our school, we encourage all the students to participate in their FB Messenger group. Using a certain criteria and scheduled monitoring, we were able to determine and recognize the section who were able to meet our standards and awarded as the best e-classroom. This is a project and initiative of our Supreme Student Government. And yes, we were able to begin the school year with projects that guided and served our students and parents from enrollment, gathering of SLMs, learning process, and holding events, but it would not be completed without us monitoring and hearing the students' feedback about their studies. We have online surveys, but what we are much proud of is our Project Lakbay, or layuning kamustahin ng kabataan kasama ang barangay. In this project, teacher volunteers call the students who are not active online and visit them at home to check how they are under the distance learning. course through the help of our barangay officials. Currently, the school is much engaged in innovating and discovering new practices in different aspects in education. Greater value is being imposed in technical vocational subjects to ensure that skills will still be acquired even under the distance learning. In REPSI, aangat ang buhay sa TechVoc High.
We've seen your response aiming to reach the goals of your school by how flexible and optimistic you became to provide ease to all your learners to manage their education. It is impressive how you sustain these schools through your extraordinary fruits of labor. A warm round of virtual applause for REPSI. For our last presenter for this morning, let us listen to the devoted and astute Mrs. Annalyn M. Macasinag, the principal of Eusebio High School.
Good morning. Our institution, Eusebio High School, is one with the Department of Education along with all the other institutions under its umbrella and vision for education to continue amidst this pandemic. We have the BLCP as our arm to carry on with that vision, with everyone in Cluster 7 and the entire school's division of Pasig City. We are one in the pursuit of excellence in the workplace at all times, at whatever circumstances. Here at Eusebio High School, the quest for excellence in carrying overall services is our top priority. The school is trying the best way it can to be of first-rate service to its community during these trying times. To provide that kind of service, it follows 3 simple steps. First, the school provides excellent quality of education to its learners through its efficient teachers and staff. Second, it equips the teachers and staff with knowledge and skill via surefire trainings to be able to provide excellent education. And third, it mobilizes its partners to get engaged to boost the actualization of the first 2 steps. Teamwork worked for Eusebio High School to elevate. As the school continues to work to sustain excellence, it remains open to changes, for change now is constant. Our school embraces that by being more than ready to innovate for the benefit of its community. As we adapt to alternative modalities to cope up the new normal setup, issues and concerns still arise. Families of learners experience the impact of pandemic, and learners are the ones directly affected. There's a gap that needs to be addressed. With that, Eusebio High School took a great leap to bridge that gap. Be a witness on how our school was able to actualize that plan. Presenting Eusebio High School's Best Notable Practice.
Collaboration, key to successful teams and projects. If you can fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep on moving forward. Eusebio High School's Notable Best School Practice. As we face the challenge of learning continuity amidst the pandemic, as its impact directly affects the learners, many fail to attend classes regularly and some fail to attend at all. Schools try to adopt alternative modalities to blend in whilst trying still to achieve education's common goal of zero dropout. The liberation of quarter two generated 261 students who failed to show up in class school year 2020-2021. With that as a concern, Project Lingap was born. Presenting EHS Junior High School's Project Lingap. Locate intensely not attending learners through guardians and partners in the community. The project proponents includes the school head, the head teachers, and the master teachers who spearheaded the project. Project Lingap's objectives include locating learners who did not show up, lessen number of students who were reported as no longer participating in school, and keep students in school and finish the course during the pandemic. It is a collaboration of Eusebio High School and two of its very active stakeholders, Barangay Rosario and EHS PTA. Each played vital roles from the pre-implementation, implementation, and post-implementation stage. The school and the barangay staff does the mapping. PTA facilitators does the delivery, orientation, and retrieval of learning package. Assistants were given to those without adult support by the PTA acting as para-teachers. The rest of the team does the sorting of modules for use, phone call follow-up, checking of modules, recording and reporting to advisors of results, and filing of pertinent documents. All these learners from Pasig, Cainta, Taytay up to Angono were done constant follow-up to assure their engagement in the project. At the end, 251 completed required modules and made it to project completion. That is a clear 96%. This contributed to the achieved promotion rate of 99.1% for Eusebio High School, school year 2020-2021. Likewise, this was instrumental for Barangay Rosario to achieve its target as regards education. PTA facilitators were helped through a remuneration given for their services. The outcome of the project, the school thought to be simple, turned out to be a big leap. EHS found a good venue to reach out to its learners and its community that can well serve them, pandemic or no pandemic. This is Eusebio High School, elevating to higher standards.
Let's give Eusebio High School a huge round of virtual applause. We have witnessed the impact by going the extra mile to prove that in your school, no child is really left behind with or without pandemic. You have showcased to us how you step up to the standards that are expected of you. According to Matty Stepanek, unity is strength. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. This day has been meaningful for all of us gathered here. It is a pleasure to witness the different notable best practices of schools from Cluster 7. Congratulations! We have now come to the end of our morning session. Kindly join our afternoon session again hosted by Mr. Luis Rafael Tordesillas for the notable best practices of schools from Cluster 8 at 1 o'clock p.m. Don't forget to fill out the form for the attendance that is sent in our chat box. Once again, I am Emanuela Cuevas from Rosario Elementary School, your Master of Ceremony for this morning. Good day everyone and have a blessed day ahead.
Right. Thank you, Sir Emmanuel, for hosting of today's morning event. No? Maraming salamat, Cluster 7, and congratulations, headed by your very energetic PSDS in charge, Dr. Cesar Gonzalez. So to all of you, see you again, everyone, this afternoon. And to all the school heads, SBM coordinators, teachers, and non-teaching personnel of Cluster 7, congratulations. Mabuhay kayong lahat. I salute you all po. Thank you and see you again this afternoon. Thank you again to the TWG, Sir Randy and the team po. Maraming salamat. Thank you po.
Recording stopped.